Welcome inside the John Book Fieldhouse on the Concordia University of Wisconsin campus in Mequon. We wrap up day number 3, the third and final day of the 2024 NCATA Division III tournament. The event finals upon us after a team champion was crowned earlier in the day, and for a second consecutive year, University of Mary Hardin-Baylor bringing home the team title. And now a number of event finals take place here in Mequon, Wisconsin, alongside former Concordia Acrobatics and Tumbling athlete Jesse Alexander. My name is Matt Menzel. We will start things off with essentially the Acro event with 3 different heats. That will begin with the 5-element Acro, which will see competitors from Buffalo State, Trine, and Mary Hardin-Baylor battle for the heat title. So a fun night in which we will see essentially 15 different heats among the 4 different events. And we'll have a number of champions crowned here from more of an individual standpoint.
Yeah, it's going to be a really exciting night. There's going to be so much going on. It's going to be high-level skills performed at a great level, so I'm excited to see what these teams put on the mat.
So starting things off, we have Buffalo State. Start value at 9.15. And they will come out with Adrian Gardner, Carmela Capizzi, Jackie Hayden, Caitlin Wilhite, and Lucy Ingro is counting. Off that flip from Jackie Hayden. Great hold there for a good 3+ seconds, and then some for Jackie Hayden, the top for Buffalo State. Much different environment. You know, obviously you have the team competition, the entire team's on the sideline. In this case, you have the competitors for these various events all around the mat. All 8 Division III programs being represented, as Adrian was the lone non-team to compete over the last couple of days, but they will have representation here in the event finals. But again, a different energy level here to wrap up this 3-day tournament.
Yeah, in respect to having so many teams here, we also have so many fans in the crowd. We have families from each of the teams coming to support, so the energy in here is electric. We definitely, even just the volume that is of cheering that is going on is just insane. So it's great to see.
Mention also Trine and Mary Hardin-Baylor will be involved here in the 5-element Acro. They both will start values of 10. And so we will see Trine up next. They finished as a runner-up for a second consecutive year to Mary Hardin-Baylor in the team final. And they will come out with, and for the Thunder, Andrea Wagoner, Michaela Sutherland, Sydney Junt, and Nellie Dunscombe. You and I talked the other day during that tri-meet about, for some of these athletes, competing, performing 3 days in a row has not been normal. Now, in some cases, you've had a good, X amount of hours off since competing as a team earlier, right back out there after a short amount of rest, right back out there and trying to power through and put your body through some more work.
Yeah, 3 days in a row and then 2 times in a day. It's a lot to be doing.
Andrea Wagoner, the top here for Trine. The base, Michaela Sutherland. Able to maintain her balance on the turn. Out that exchange with Sydney Junt, able to recover nicely. And again, you hear the sportsmanship. Both sidelines, all the teams, getting fired up and backing up. In this case, the Trine performance.
Yeah, it's really great to see all the energy that each team is putting to the mat, cheering each other on, because that's really what it's all about at the end of the day. This is the last time competing in the season. It's the end of a long 3 days. At this point, we're wanting to see everyone's best effort on the mat, and we want to see no regrets as they step off.
Finally, it's going to be Mary Hardin-Baylor here in the 5-element Acro. That's there are essentially 15 heats over the 4 events, the way the format will play out here in the event finals. Mary Hardin-Baylor will be involved in every one of these heats, and no surprise, number 1 seed in the NCATA Division III tournament. Ranked 5th in the entire nation when it comes to the NCATA championship rankings. They're open and almost expecting now to be in West Virginia in a couple of weeks competing for a national title.
And that is difficult as well. I mean, it's been a long weekend here, but their season isn't stopping. They still have more to do. So definitely congratulations to them, and congratulations on being so well-rounded, too. To be able to excel in each of these heats is truly impressive.
Their victory earlier today over Trine, 264.025 to 245.665, and that's coming after they knocked off Texas Lutheran in a spirited semifinal yesterday. Trine with wins over Buffalo State and a win over Concordia, Wisconsin before the runner-up finish. Wrapping up a fun 3 days of competition, some emotional team events, in some instances for seniors to wrap up their acrobatics and tumbling career. Jenna Hall will be the top here for Mary Hardin-Baylor. Maya Munka counting. Natalie Potsednik the base. Out there with Valerie Guevara. So Jenna Hall competing as a sophomore for Mary Hardin-Baylor. Full inversion, able to hold it, and a job well done again by Mary Hardin-Baylor.
Yeah, great landings there. We saw the feet nice and close together, no deviation from the base. That was a very clean run through.
Now, from what I understand, the way it's going to work is, yes, obviously all 3 teams were scored, but the only score that's going to be announced is the winning score. The teams will find out when this is all said and done how they did at the various heats and the events they were involved in, but only the champion will be announced and the award will be presented. So right now the judges tabulating the scores for the 3 programs to see who came out on top in the 5-element acro between Buffalo State, Trine, and Mary Hardin-Baylor. So kind of anxious but also fun moments here as you kind of wait to see who did what.
Anxious is definitely the word I would use. From my experience of standing at the back of the mat, waiting for those scores to be tabulated by the judges before knowing how well you actually did, it can be so nerve-wracking to be in these athletes' positions.
For the judges, you've been doing this now for 3 straight days. It's probably become an old habit. They knew what they were doing to begin with, and now all of a sudden they've been doing this now for 3 straight days, all these different quarterfinal, semifinal, and final matchups. Again, they know what they're watching for. That eye is well trained.
Yeah, they will be seeing repeats of what they've seen for the past 2 days. So, as I've mentioned before in our previous broadcast, they know what they're looking for. They know where your weak spots are. They know where your strengths are. So they're definitely going to be keeping that in mind as they are giving you a score.
Steve Taylor from Concordia, Wisconsin, is going to be handing out the award to the winning team. And right now looking down toward the judges. They look ready to hand out the award, but nothing has come through just yet. I'm looking down. I'm not sure if there's an issue with the technology, but doesn't look like there's much discussion taking place among the judges. They look ready to go for the next heat. Although as we speak, I'm starting to see some of the scores trickle in. I'm not sure if we mentioned we're able to share those scores or not, but I can't tell you that University of Mary Hardin-Baylor is your champion with a score at 9.700. So out of 10, a 9.700, a great way to start the event finals if you're the crew from Mary Hardin-Baylor.
Yeah, that's a great way to nearly wrap up the season, only 0.3 off. That is a lot to be proud of.
Besides these various event finals, these heats, when all is said and done tonight, we will also have the all-tournament team announced. A team of 30, and we'll share that with you. We know, but it's a secret for the athletes at this point, but they will be announced after this is all said and done. 30 will be honored for a job well done over these last 3 days and really throughout their time in acrobatics and tumbling.
Yeah, and that's super exciting to see.
Here is 6-element acro. Starting things off with Texas Lutheran. Out there with Mackenzie Holland, Nadia Roberts, Kara Staling, Gabrielle Rodriguez. The other grouping with Madeline Mearscheit, Mariah Johnson, Jenna Kraft, Michaela Torres, and Cassandra Galvin is counting. I was impressed with Texas Lutheran over these last couple of days. Kind of second-year program, and all of a sudden they pull off the upset. Really the only upset when you look at seeding in that quarterfinal over East Texas Baptist. You're with me on Thursday for that quarterfinal, and then all of a sudden, they lost yesterday to Mary Hardin-Baylor, but they held their own in that semifinal.
They really did. As a second-year program, putting up those scores and even working to an upset is really incredible to see at this point in the season. So I think they are doing so well. The future is bright for them. They've built a great foundation here, and it's only up from here.
And the energy level, even with their coaching staff, I mean, it's fun to watch. They're as excited as the athletes are, and a lot of jumping for joy, a lot of hugging going on. And again, with the video board here inside the John Book Field, I'm watching Texas Lutheran right now, and they're all giddy as they watch the replay. They felt good about that 6-element acro.
And that's exactly how it should be. You want to put everything out on the mat. This is the last time that they're going to be able to be competing these skills, at least for this season. So you want to leave with no regrets. You want to leave it here and have something that you can be proud of and watch again and again and just know that that moment was everything you could do and as perfect as you could make it.
They had a start value at 8.30 now. It is trying with a start value at 9.85. And Trine will come out with Maggie Armentrout, Mia Garini, Anna Trum, and Juliana Porco in the first grouping. Other grouping with Mel Lowe, Brianna Kelly, Maeli Dominguez, Amy Solvinsky with Nevaeh Cruz counting. Combination of Mel Lowe and Mia Garini, the two tops. The Trine Thunder. Going to see a reoccurring theme through a lot of these heats and these events with Mary Hardin-Baylor, but also with Trine. Seeing each other again, competing against each other essentially again for the second time today.
Yeah, being seeds 1 and 2, it makes for a busy day. You've got a lot of heats to compete in, and that can take a toll on each athlete having to go back-to-back. I mean, they've already competed once today, so these athletes are really pushing through a whole lot right now.
Going to see Mary Hardin-Baylor up last. They have a start value of 10, and will come out with Morgan Webb, Sarah Williamson. You have Katie Breckler, the other grouping with Jenna Hall, Natalie Podsednik, Madison Holmes, and Maya Munka is going to be counting. Fun to look around and to see, again, the 8 Division III programs that offer acrobatics and tumbling all here under one roof, all being represented.
Yeah, and especially exciting since this is in the early years of the D3 National Championship. So seeing everyone here, seeing old friends, seeing new faces, it is great to have everybody under one roof and having it in Wisconsin for Concordia fans. I think that is so exciting to be hosting this year.
And again, the talk is, not sure if it's finalized, but from what we understand, this will head to Buffalo next year, so a chance to, and that's one of the cool things too, is with some of the teams spread out the way they are, you get an opportunity to really travel and see this country just in competing acrobatics and tumbling.
And I love that everyone has a chance to host.
On a rotational schedule last year in Texas, the year before that, the inaugural event was in Michigan at Adrian. Once again, the crew from Mary Hardin-Baylor. I mentioned this before when watching the Crusaders perform, go out there and compete, is the fact that you watch these various routines and some of the elements, and it almost looks flawless. I know the judges are watching for certain things. They see things that maybe the untrained eye would not see, but man, it just looks like there's barely any movement there, that they just, whether they're in the inversion and the pyramid, you look at the base, the footwork, everything just seems to be where it needs to be.
I think one thing that Mary Hardin-Baylor does really well is plays to their cleanliness throughout everything that they're doing. It's very clean, it's very straight and to the point, it is timed, and that is just the importance of having, great supporting roles for the skills that you are doing. People who are going to be clean as they are not actively helping, and drilling each heat and what you do will result in a nice and clean performance like we just saw.
Get ready to hand out the next award. Will be the president of Concordia University of Wisconsin, Ann Arbor, that being Dr. Eric Ankerberg, still relatively new, but he is here, and love to see the support that he has given to athletics here at Concordia University of Wisconsin, often at a number of these home events. He's been in and out of the John Book Fieldhouse throughout the last couple of days, and he is one of the presenters throughout the course of these event finals.
The sixth element Acro champion with a score of 9.40.
And the winner is Mary Hardin-Baylor at 9.400. So I thought at first maybe we would have the other score. We don't. We get the same thing that is being put out there publicly, and that is the winning score. Again, the other scores are being kept, but those won't be shared publicly. The coaches, the teams will see it afterwards, and they can kind of look and see, okay, where do they score the most points? Where maybe do they see the deductions come from?
Yeah, the coaches are able to go and pick up a score sheet from the judges. Once everything is all said and done, they're able to get that score and review with their team on their own time.
We move now to the 7-element Acro. Here's Trine with a start value of 10. Mello the top with Brianna Kelly and Lauren Hillen for Trine University. Next up, we will see Concordia, Wisconsin with a start value of 10. Peyton Tarmina, Ellen Marie Sanders, Eliana Schmidt, Haley Comprud represented the home team. Concordia, Wisconsin will be involved in roughly 6 of these heats of this event finals. Going to be a comfort competing here inside the John Book Fieldhouse. We talked about this the other day too, where now at this point all these teams have gotten used to their surrounding here in this bigger venue, and for some of these schools they're used to competing in maybe smaller venues, but for the Falcons they have a number of friends and family in the stands, always a comfort.
Yeah, it's always nice to be the home team. I mean, having the home field advantage, as you say, is so important. I mean, even from the aspect of you're sleeping in your own bed at night, just another aspect of recovery that home team gets to have.
I thought maybe, we talk with some of the athletes, maybe some pressure there because this is your home venue. And it's funny because I'm not sure a single one of these athletes would tell you that there really is that pressure. If there is, it's a good pressure.
Yeah, I think pressure is a good word, but also support. Being right in front of your own crowd, your family, your friends, this is where you're going to feel a lot of support from the people you love.
So again, a start value of 10 here in the 7-element Acro for Concordia, Wisconsin. And Jesse, you and I talked about it. For all of these teams in the same boat, for Concordia, Wisconsin, 3 out of those 4 athletes, this is it for them. Mm-hmm. This is it here tonight on the grand stage in these event finals. It's been 4 long years, or in some cases 4 quick years if you really look back at it. But this is it, all on the line. Everything you've put together over the 4 years, all coming to a head here in this event finals.
Yeah, and I think in that aspect, like we were talking about pressure before, that's a lot of pressure. It's like knowing that you only have one chance, there are no redos, that can really get to you. And it's certain in those times that you need to give yourself grace and need to relax and kind of bring it back in a little bit. So I think obviously seeing Concordia out there, I am so proud of how far each one of these girls has come. I know them all personally, so there is a huge soft spot in my heart for each of them.
The final team competing in this heat for the 7-element Acro will be Mary Hardin-Baylor with Chloe Drew, Caitlin Kologizik, and Callan Doika. A couple of seniors in that grouping that, again, have found ways to bring home back-to-back NCATA Division III team titles. Going home with some hardware. Back to Texas. Every team a little bit different, but you know what? Like we mentioned last night during that tri-meet, losing never gets old. And every year is different. You find different ways to prevail. And even though if you're Mary Hardin-Baylor, you found a way to, for the first time competing in this tournament, to win on your home mat this year, going maybe a little bit of a different route, but still finding the same recipe for success.
I think success comes from being consistent in practice and being consistent in what you do, being confident in what you do. That is definitely the recipe for success that we see throughout Acro, but with no doubt that takes a lot of hard work. That's a lot of time and dedication, much like it is for just any other sport.
So many athletes back for the Crusaders. About 2/3 of their roster back from last year, and so they knew what it takes to win a nothing else, a Division III tournament championship. Now, obviously, they set the bar even higher, and it looks like they're going to accomplish that feat of being a Division III program competing at the NCATA National Tournament as a, right now, 5th-ranked program. But at the same point, there's also the challenge of knowing that there's so many talented athletes behind you waiting for their turn to get to the mat. The competition and practice alone is very good.
Yeah, no kidding.
The top being Chloe Drew. I love the energy and the team participation. When the base moves her 2 feet, you hear the entire team yell, boom, boom.
Yeah, and there's actually most likely a reason behind that. What you are doing regarding steps, as we talked about yesterday, each step you take as a base will count against your score unless it is intentional. So making sure that the judges know that those steps that you are taking are intentional will then be points that they cannot take away from your score.
So now the judges will see who did what here in the 7-element acro before we move to the pyramid. I've enjoyed watching the pyramid over these last couple of days, and it's just all that goes into it. And it's not just, watching the top, but watching the base form. And again, in something that was talked about in one of the earlier broadcasts, if your base is off by even a half a step, that can throw everything off when it comes to the pyramid.
It really can. There is the bases are the foundation. That is where your stability is coming from. Nothing can be built off of it unless you have a good base. So definitely a pivotal role being played there on the bottom. A lot of times in practice, we would say that they are your new floor as you are standing up there. So they need to be as steady as possible. They are responsible for a lot of the stability going on above them.
Mary Hardin-Baylor is going to win again. A score 9.550. So the crew, a sweep so far in the acro event. For the 5-element acro, 6-element acro, 7-element acro. And they've set the bar high. And we knew that coming in with what the team's been able to do, what we've seen over the last couple of days just in team competition. And it's carrying over so far in this event finals. And that's not to say that the other teams aren't capable of pulling off the upset, but you almost have to be near perfect.
Yeah, they leave little room for error there. But everything that you see, every mistake or little bit of being off that you see is an opportunity to capitalize on that and do what you can, no matter what team you are, whether you're crew or anyone else. Everyone has opportunities to go and capitalize on what they can.
And strong scores across the board in the 3 heats, considering they had start values at 10 in all 3, no less than a 9.4 in any one of the 3 heats. So, again, the crew, they have brought it here in the event finals.
Yeah, they're bringing the energy. They're bringing the great skills. It's great to have them here.
And now the inversion pyramid. And up first, we'll see Texas Lutheran with a start value of 9 points. Looks like 9.70. Grayson Bunch, Phoenix Causley, Alyssa Marquez, Natalia Cortez, Lexi Chandler, Claire Couples, Michaela Torres out there for Texas Lutheran, and they will ride the train right back to the sideline.
That looked incredible. I can only imagine just how excited each of those athletes are to put out a performance like that. The hold of 3 seconds, the nice high saran wrap catch. I am so proud of them.
And in some instances, yes, you want to win this heat, but at the end of the day as well, they're just trying to go out there and maybe put together their best performance of the year, maybe of their careers. It may not win them a championship, but it's more of a personal accomplishment.
Yeah, you really want to go out there and be happy with what you did. And at the end of the day, you're competing against yourself. Are you better than who you were yesterday? Are you putting your best foot in front of you? Are you doing everything that you can? And I think right there we just saw a great performance of putting your best foot forward and nailing it.
I'm having a fun time watching their coaching staff after they perform because they look like they're having almost as much fun as the athletes. And speaking of fun, the YMCA. It's like Wisconsin's theme song. And Mary Hardin-Baylor staying loose as Trine is up next here in the inversion pyramid. And they also have a start value of 9.70. Out there is Lauren Alexander, Michaela Sutherland, Maggie Armentrout, Amy Solvinsky, Brianna Kelly, Sydney Junt, and Mayeli Dominguez with Nevada Cruz County. Would you expect, as we watch these teams at the various heats, will they try something maybe they wouldn't normally try, or they tend to do what they would do in a typical meet?
I think at this point in the season, switching it up is not the greatest strategy for each coach and athlete. You want to do something that you know how to do and you can do well. Maybe if it's something you kept in your back pocket for the last couple of practices, then maybe this would be the time to bring it out and really wow them. But you want to put something on the mat that you know is going to hit the score sheets, you know about where it's going to land in the eyes of the judges. So doing the same things that you have gotten feedback on already before kind of builds you up and leads you to this moment.
Well, Mary Hardin-Baylor will come out with a start value of 10. And with Morgan Webb, Madison Holmes, Sarah Williamson out there with Katie Breckler, Callan Doika, and Kylie Jones. As the crew look to keep things rolling so far here in the event finals. As we have moved on.
Next, with a start value of 10.00, Mary Hardin.
Here with the pyramid event. Toss and tumbling still to come on this Saturday night. I feel like Sarah Williamson could have stayed up there for another 10 seconds or so.
Yeah, it was very stable, very little movement from the mid and from the top. I think, another 10 seconds could have been in their future.
What I love about what we've seen so far, and you and I have talked in great length, one of the adjustments you have to make during a typical meet is all the downtime. There's still downtime here, and obviously for each team, there's downtime, especially if you're not in a certain heat. But it does seem like there's a pretty good rhythm, pretty good flow going from one heat and one event to the next.
Yeah, event finals really go fast. I mean, normally in an acro meet, we have a lot of downtime in between each one, and it's just two teams going back and forth. So even then, you'll see a little bit of rest time given to each of the teams. But here, it's going quick. Like, we are almost... That was heat one of pyramid, wasn't it?
Correct.
It was.
We're getting there, though.
Yeah, so we're almost to the middle of pyramid.
Absolutely. But again, every team, you look both sidelines, staying loose, having fun. You see teams mingling with one another. As you mentioned, so many of these teams have become healthy rivals. Mary Hardin-Baylor takes the inversion pyramid with a score of 9.850. So, they're putting up some ridiculous totals.
Yeah, that is a very high score, something definitely to be proud of.
4 for 4 so far for the crew. A lot of hardware coming back to Texas. And now the synchronized pyramid is up next. We'll see East Texas Baptist, Trine, and Mary Hardin-Baylor competing. First up, we'll see East Texas Baptist, a start value of 10. They were part of an impressive showing last night in the tri-meet. That against Stevenson and against Buffalo State. Out there is Jessica Coleman, Brianna Brown, Emily Blaylock, Kaylin Williams, Katie Melton, Jaden Stroman, Ellie Davis, Kylie Davis, Macy Goff, and Mallory Golden with Meredith Griffin counting. All three teams competing here in synchronized pyramid will come out with a start value of 10, so you have the potential there to score some more points. And we'll see how close it stays, but good start here for East Texas Baptist. They've had a lot of standing around so far, finally getting out there and competing.
Yeah, I know ETBU does a great job with their pyramids. I've mentioned it before, but I always look to ETBU for their pyramid strengths.
And we'll see Trine up next with that start value of 10. And Trine will have Maggie Armentrout, Lauren Hillen, Olivia Hardup, Nellie Dunscombe, Sydney Junt, Mello, Brianna Kelly, Michaela Sutherland, Anna Trum, Amy Solvinsky, Lauren Alexander, and Emma Wilkie competing. Were you one back in the day that in an event like this or in an atmosphere like this, did you kind of stay to yourself? Were you one that would mingle with other teams?
Oh, I was a big mingler. I think I know a couple people here that aren't even on Concordia. I am a big talker, and I love making new friends.
The Trine Thunder. Again, that's all part of it, isn't it? Just growing this sport, getting to know one another. And yes, again, you're competing against one another, but you're also trying to help continue to grow this sport, maintain that positivity, educate others about what this is all about. And for a lot of these athletes, especially with some of these younger programs, you're laying down the foundation for what could be for years to come.
You really are. You are setting up, a new class of girls that is going to look at this sport and say, wow, those girls look like me. I love the strength that they have. I love the athleticism that is just being shown here. And you're going to inspire a whole new generation to come here and do this. So there is a lot of pride felt by each of these athletes, and rightfully so, as we are laying the groundwork for those to come after us.
With that cheerleading, dance, gymnastics background in a lot of cases, a few other sports sprinkled in there as well. Here is Mary Hardin-Baylor with that start value of 10. Callan Doika, Caitlin Kolagizik, along with Jenna Hall, Natalie Putsednik, Valerie Guevara, Morgan Webb, Katie Breckler, Sarah Williamson, Madison Holmes, and Ari Grevinson out there competing. And Chloe Drew is counting. It'll be pretty tough to beat there in the synchronized pyramid. It's becoming the Mary Hardin-Baylor event finals as they've set the bar high. But you know what? That makes this competition that much greater for some of these other teams. Is hey, they set the bar high, and that's where you strive to be.
They are driving the competition right now, and they are making people step up to where they make them step to. And that is a great, comfortable seat to be sitting in. And I think it's great to drive the aggression and the execution of each of the other teams like that.
When you competed, and I know you've competed against some other Division II and Division I competition, what was that like? Obviously, Concordia competed against some of the who's who, and you aspire to be at that level. Was it one of those where you kind of sat there and went, wow, I want to get to that level, and this is what they do, and do you work that much harder to try to get to that level?
It is very inspiring to get to go against teams that are at a different division level or even just, a little bit cleaner and tighter than you are. But at the end of the day, it also is great to remember that they are human and they are just like you, and what they're doing is achievable by you as well, that you can take little, notes here and there from them and apply it to what you're doing.
And for Concordia, Wisconsin, they certainly have a history against the likes of Baylor, Quinnipiac, Oregon, to name a few of the who's who in all of NCATA acrobatics and tumbling. Mary Hardin-Baylor is your winner of the synchronized pyramid with a score of 9.625. They're a perfect 5 for 5 so far in this event finals. Well, I hope they're bussing back with all the hardware they're bringing back. Otherwise, I hope they have an empty suitcase to throw on that airplane, because they have a lot of hardware so far heading back to Texas. Not only the team trophy, but now some of these event final trophies.
Yeah, I think they definitely could even use it in a carry-on for 5 different ladies if they need to.
Here's the open pyramid. Concordia, Wisconsin is up first. Start value of 10. Peyton Tarmina, Madison Arndt, Haley Komprud, Eliana Schmidt, and Ainsley Taylor out there here for the Falcons. So the Falcons out there competing here in the open pyramid. Trine is up next. And Trine with a start value of 10 as well. Andrea Wagoner, Brianna Kelly, Michaela Sutherland, Anna Trum, and Amy Solvinsky will be on the mat for the Thunder. For Mary Hardin-Baylor, they will have potentially some of these same athletes out there in some of the event finals come nationals in a couple of weeks in West Virginia. All that's going to be announced coming up on Monday, April 15th. The final NCATA championship rankings will come out, and the top 8 schools will be there on top of some at-large qualifiers for some of the event finals. That gets announced coming up on Monday. Here's the Trine Thunder. Nice showing there from Trine, which now leaves Mary Hardin-Baylor coming out here with Sarah Williamson, Caitlin Kolagizik, Morgan Webb, Katie Breckler, and Callan Doika. A couple of seniors and some juniors, and that's a scary part too. When you start to break down the roster, there's still a lot of talent coming back from Mary Hardin-Baylor after this season's all said and done.
Yeah, having a youthful team that can learn from your seniors and are able to set you up for a successful future, that is so important. And I think that they have done a great job not only keeping the talent strong into their junior and senior years, but also raising talent from their freshmen and sophomores.
And again, even in practice, number of freshmen, sophomores, pushing some of the upperclassmen for mat time to be involved in some of the various heats. So there's been some great, healthy competition just within the program itself.
Start value of 10.00, Mary hardin-baylor.
Again, that's going to be hard to beat.
That is definitely a performance of a lifetime right there. And one thing I just want to point out from these pyramid events now here in the open pyramid, we have had 3 bridges go. And being a strong enough base to hold a bridge like that is an incredible talent to possess. And not to mention the mids that stand on top of these thighs. That's really difficult to do. I don't know if anyone watching has tried to stand on thighs before, but there's a lot of muscle there. It's very easy to move back and forth.
Hit the wrong spot. Look out.
Yeah.
High scores across the board so far for Mary hardin-baylor. Nothing less than a 9.4 with start values at 10. Each of the first 5 heats we have seen as we wrap up the pyramid section of the event finals. Toss is up next with 3 heats, and then tumbling with their 6 heats. That will be the event finals. And then we mentioned the all-tournament teams will be announced. A first and second team, and then one honorable mention among the 30 athletes that will be honored for the all-tournament team to wrap up the NCATA Division III tournament. The tip of the cap to all involved, helping to put this tournament on. A lot goes into it as Mary hardin-baylor wins another heat as they take the open pyramid with a score of 9.875. Again, high scores.
That is an excellent level of precision to be performing to at a D3 level. It is truly incredible to watch.
Be fun to watch going forward because I know with these athletes, yeah, they want to win. But if you're Mary hardin-baylor right now, you're also trying to mentally get ready for what could be in a couple of weeks. And here's kind of a small sampling of what it may be like as far as just the format goes with this tournament, with these event finals. And essentially, this is preparation for 2 weeks from now. As we have a break in the action with the toss event, tumbling event, all coming up. We'll take a quick commercial timeout. We'll come back and bring you the first heat, the 450 salto toss, as we continue with the event finals to wrap up third and final day of the 2024 NCATA Division III tournament. Acrobatics and tumbling on the Falcon Athletic Network. Back inside the John Book Fieldhouse on the Concordia University Wisconsin campus in Mequon, wrapping up the third and final day of the 2024 NCATA Division III tournament for acrobatics and tumbling. The event finals with all 8 Division III programs being represented, including Adrian a little bit later on. We'll see them in the 6-element pass. That will take place during the tumbling event, but after a little bit of a breather, we have seen 3 heats of Acro, 3 heats of pyramid. Nothing but victories so far for Mary hardin-baylor, the team champ for a second consecutive year, setting a high standard. And they will be involved in the first heat of the toss event, the 450 salto. That's going to include Texas Lutheran, Trine, and Mary hardin-baylor. This is a fun event.
This really is. I think tosses are so incredibly fun to watch. They're so incredibly difficult to perform. It definitely is one of those wow factors when you think of acrobatics and tumbling. These tosses are something that can come to mind pretty easily.
And we'll see again, Mary Hardin-Baylor involved in all 3 heats. Trine will be involved in all 3 heats. We'll see Concordia, Wisconsin involved in the synchronized toss and the open toss. Texas Lutheran's going to be coming out when things get started. And they will have a start value of 9.40. And that for Texas Lutheran. And when things, again, resume, they will be back out there here in the 450 Salto toss. We'll have to double check to see who will be out there representing Texas Lutheran. This sport continuing to grow and mentioning, just seeing all these teams here. It's definitely a unique situation. All the D3 schools together in one building. Even with this tournament itself growing, you go back to 2022, and yes, Concordia, Wisconsin won the team championship, but a couple of schools unable to make the trip to Michigan. All of a sudden last year, kind of the same thing where some of these programs maybe had athletes in the event finals, but team-wise, Mary Hardin-Baylor competing for the first time last year. This year, again, you had 7 out of the 8 schools in the team competition, but then all 8 here in the event finals, so continuing to see even this tournament grow.
Yeah, it really is great to see as many teams that we are able to bring here and host. And then even last year, having more teams here than we did, it just keeps growing and growing, and I look forward to seeing how it continues to grow in years to come.
So we'll take one more break as 3 more minutes put up on the clock during this warm-up time. That for the toss event. And again, we'll step aside as we continue with the event finals to wrap up the 2024 NCATA Division III tournament on the Falcon Athletic Network. Inside the John Book Fieldhouse on the Concordia University of Wisconsin campus in Mequon, and the event finals for the 2024 NCATA Division III tournament. Each team is given about 3 minutes of mat time, not only getting ready for the toss event, but also to wrap up this night with the tumbling event. So a little bit of a break here. Wasn't expected to be a halftime, but this is equivalent to halftime here in the event finals. Already we have had a couple of events come and go with Acro and Pyramid. In Acro, recapping the action, the 5-element Acro, Mary Hardin-Baylor, your winner at 9.700. In the 6-element Acro, Mary Hardin-Baylor, 9.400. You're going to sense a theme here. The 7-element Acro, Mary Hardin-Baylor, 9.550. In the Pyramid event, the inversion, Mary Hardin-Baylor, 9.850. In the synchronized Pyramid, Mary Hardin-Baylor at 9.625. And in the open Pyramid, Mary Hardin-Baylor at 9.875. Again, up and down the various heats. Trine is involved in every heat but 2, not involved in the duo pass or the open pass during the tumbling event. And then Mary Hardin-Baylor is involved in all 15 heats of the 4 different events. So a chance again for the crew to come up big here on this Saturday night. We'll take one more break and come back an inch closer to getting heat 1 of the toss event started as we continue with the event finals. Already Mary Hardin-Baylor has won the team title, doing so earlier today over Trine. We continue with our coverage of the 2024 NCATA Division III tournament on the Falcon Athletic Network. Event finals of the 2024 NCATA Division III tournament underway, and right now mat time for the various teams getting ready for the final 2 events. And a total of 9 heats to come in toss and tumbling. Already Mary Hardin-Baylor sweeping the first 6 heats between the Acro and Pyramid events. Already over the last couple of days, on Thursday, we watched Texas Lutheran beat East Texas Baptist in quarterfinal action. Trine over Buffalo State. Concordia, Wisconsin over Stevenson. Yesterday in the semifinals, Mary Hardin-Baylor over Texas Lutheran. Trine over Concordia, Wisconsin. In the tri-meet, it was East Texas Baptist over Buffalo State and Stevenson. And then earlier today, for the team title, it was Mary Hardin-Baylor knocking off Trine. And it's the third edition of the NCATA Division III tournament. Matt Mendel alongside Jesse Alexander. Great to have you with us here on this Saturday from Mequon, Wisconsin. Take us back. What got you initially in the sport of acrobatics and tumbling?
So I used to be a cheerleader back in my high school days, and I always loved the sport of cheerleading, and I loved tumbling, and I loved stunting, but I really was not always into the makeup and the hair and all the time and effort that we had to put into how we look. I wanted something that showcased our athleticism a bit more, because truly I think that deep down inside, cheerleading has some great athletes that not always people are willing to recognize all the time and effort that goes into it. So acrobatics and tumbling became a natural transition for me to make, where I could use the skills that I have and put them to use in a different sport a little differently.
That first meet, when you went out there after some practices, what was the initial reaction?
It was a lot to take in. And being new to the sport, I didn't always know the format, which is, it's a lot of heats and a lot of elements and, the different events. I didn't fully know what order they went in, so it was a lot of me relying on my teammates, relying on the older girls on the team to kind of keep me what would the word be? On track. That's what I'm looking for. On track for what I was meant to be doing.
We'll talk more about your acrobatics and tumbling background in a moment as we start the 450 salto toss. We'll see Texas Lutheran up first, followed by Trine and followed by Mary Hardin-Baylor. And this is one of those heats where there's not a start value of 10 for any one of the three schools, but Mary Hardin-Baylor is close at 9.90. So again, Texas Lutheran is up first. They just have a great energy about themselves.
Yeah, even landing in the basket with a smile is something that you love to see. I think they have great energy out there, great presence. That was an excellent back full toss that we just saw.
Fun because you have three Texas schools here, and they, again, compete against each other on a fairly regular basis. And we've seen the support among the Texas schools throughout these 3 days. Even the coaches have been taking photos with one another and the athletes. Different state, but representing Texas awfully well. The likes of East Texas Baptist, Texas Lutheran, and Mary Hardin-Baylor. Trine will be up next with a start value of 9.30. As we continue with the 450 salto toss. Synchronized toss is next.
Next with a start value of 9.30, Trine.
Boy, that gets me every time, and I know they have the headgear on for precautionary reasons, but as a base, you got to watch out because you always hear kind of the smack of the helmet on a chin of one of the base athletes, and somehow it's almost like the athlete's used to that bump coming, that little collision.
Yeah, sometimes even when you hear a good smack on the way in, you just know it was a great catch and you stopped them where they're supposed to be. So though that it's a little jarring and oftentimes it can be a little bit of a sting on the catch there, it definitely is a sign of doing something right.
Mary Hardin-Baylor is up next. They've done a lot of things right so far on this Saturday, and they will come out with a start value at 9.90. A lot of experience up and down the lineup.
Almost a little dance battle going on right now.
Had that last night, too, during that tri-meet, whether it be the dance battle, could have been a karaoke battle as well among the three schools. Again, the crew from Mary Hardin-Baylor. The top being Jenna Hall, only a sophomore for the Crusaders. Going to put you on the spot after the three heats. You have a winner?
I think we've seen a very great performance from Mary Hardin-Baylor across the board. So I think that the trend might continue in the same direction again here, just looking at start values and execution, but definitely nothing to scoff at from our other teams here.
Is there a heat where you could potentially see a quote-unquote upset? Do you see one coming?
I mean, last year, thinking back to what I know that happened in the 2023 D3 tournament, I know we had ETBU come out with some wins. We had Concordia come out in some wins. And we saw that not only in the tumbling event, but in the toss event. So I think it's anybody's game from here on out. And I look forward to seeing just how it goes.
So wait the score to come in for the 450 Salto toss. Get the sense that these teams like that, not quite rap, but more that upbeat type genre.
Definitely a lot of the energy that you can get while you're on the mat can come from the music that is playing. So whatever gets you hyped up, that's what you want the playlist to be. And oftentimes that's rap and like just techno music that gets you going.
Well, Mary Hardin-Baylor is 7 for 7, a 9.425. That for the crew. On to the second heat, the synchronized toss. Up first, we are trying with a start value of 9.25. This is one of those events where I think a team like Trine or Concordia, Wisconsin potentially could sneak in a victory.
I think most definitely. Here on Duo Toss, the door is left wide open for both Trine and Concordia.
So look at the Trine Thunder. And up next will be Concordia, Wisconsin with a start value at 9.40, which will be the same start value as Mary Hardin-Baylor. Falcons wrapping up their 10th season of the competition here in 2024. Again, just ran into Trine in the semifinals, a team that has given them some fits here this season. They become a nice rival for Concordia, Wisconsin, along with Adrian. It seemed to be the two schools the Falcons have quite a history against.
Especially since they are the two closest teams to Concordia. We can often expect to see them in our season just because the commute is a little shorter going to see them.
Falcons seen both Trine and Adrian twice during the course of the regular season.
Next, with a start value of 9.40, Concordia.
So here come the Falcons. Well done there by Concordia, Wisconsin.
Definitely a lot to be excited about with that performance. I love seeing the hugs as you go off the mat, the smiles. Definitely love seeing the energy.
You know, you mentioned close proximity with the likes of Trine, with Adrian for Concordia, Wisconsin. There's talk that next year, I don't know if it's been announced publicly or if it has, but Kelvin over in the Grand Rapids, Michigan area is up next for D3 Acrobatics and Tumbling.
Well, that is so exciting to hear, having another team come within the area. That is definitely exciting because traveling super far I know is hard on these athletes. I mean, just looking at the teams coming from Texas, making their way all the way to Wisconsin is difficult. So having more local teams to the Wisconsin area is huge.
No question about that. Maybe add a little bit to the schedule, but for the time being, still some lengthy trips in there along the way. And for the Falcons, able to make a trip out to South Dakota. They've, in the past, gone to Texas and beyond. And as of right now, the thought is they will be out to New York for this tournament come next April. As Mary Hardin-Baylor is up next with a start value of 9.40. So wait and see the scores here in the synchronized toss. I think it's going to be close.
Yeah, coming in with the same start values between UMHB and CUW, it's going to be a head-to-head, what the judges are seeing, what they like, what they don't like. So having the same starting ground is huge.
So right now the judges discuss who saw what. Mary Hardin-Baylor looking to make it 8 for 8 with the open toss up next. And these anxious moments, just waiting for that score to come in. So far, it's been all Crusaders. As Concordia, Wisconsin, Trine, and Mary Hardin-Baylor await. I think it was so close that maybe perhaps the judges having to discuss a little bit longer than maybe in some of the other events. But Mary Hardin-Baylor will take this one as well at 9.075.
The synchronized toss champion with a score of 9.075.
And again, we don't have the other scores, but I have to believe it was close.
I would have to say so.
That will bring us to the open pass, which will involve the same three schools, Concordia, Wisconsin, Trine, and Mary Hardin-Baylor. And again, we'll see Trine up first with a start value of 9.25 after the photo here for the Crusaders. We were talking about your acrobatics and tumbling background. when you look at this sport, and we'll talk about this after tried performance, but get back to us on your favorite aspect of acrobatics and tumbling and the most frustrating aspect of acrobatics and tumbling.
Okay, I'll think about it.
That's what we call in the business a tease. You have to wait for the answer. So the Trine Thunder in the open pass brings us to Concordia, Wisconsin with a start value of 9.90, which, again, when you look at the start values, Mary Hardin-Baylor at 9.40, so perhaps a little bit of room there for Concordia, Wisconsin, maybe to steal, if you will, this open toss.
Yeah, I think it definitely is in our favor as we head into the open toss.
You have an answer for us yet about acrobatics and tumbling?
Well, yes, of course. So my favorite thing about acrobatics and tumbling is simply just the community that you get out of it. Not only do you have your teammates, but you can look around the mat, even to the other side of the mat, and see people that you are quite fond of as well. So I love that communal aspect of it. I even have friends who came and joined the team maybe halfway through the season and have said that this is so fulfilling to have a non-toxic environment to spend your athletic time with.
Well, here are the Falcons in the open toss. The toss event here in the event finals. That was well done.
I think that was excellent. Very good effort there from Concordia, and I love seeing, again, the energy.
And for the Falcons, working on the catch, the landing, if you will, for Peyton Taormina. That's coming to play a little bit, making sure a little bit cleaner, more of a saran wrap-like catch, and thought right there for the Falcons. Not a ton of movement there. It was pretty clean.
Yeah, that one's going to hit the score sheets really well. I think the judges are going to have a great time picking that one apart, so I can't wait to see what the scores come in as.
Mary Hardin-Baylor will be next at 9.40. After the Falcons now talking head of the mat, discussing what just transpired after watching the replay on the video board here inside the John Book Fieldhouse.
Next with a start value of 9.4.
So Mary Hardin-Baylor wrapping up the toss event. How much does the height of the toss come into play?
That does come into play. So the judges want to see a nice high toss, a nice extension from the bases, a lift from the top. So the higher you can get, the better.
So the judges tabulate who took the open toss. You talk about the culture, the environment of acrobatics and tumbling. What's maybe the most frustrating or challenging aspect of acrobatics and tumbling?
When I look back on my years at acrobatics and tumbling, I think a lot of the frustrations come from performing on a dead mat. It just sucks the life right out of you. Like every, angle that you try to hit the floor, every punch that you try to make to head into a tumbling pass, it just really will take every ounce of energy from you. So I would love to compete this on a spring floor rather than a dead mat.
How easy of a change would that be to make?
It is a very difficult transition to make. Girls that tumble on spring floor, changing to tumble on dead mat is very difficult. Going the opposite direction from dead mat to spring floor is much easier, but the reality of it, to have a functional environment, a spring floor is just so much to set up and add to a gym that it's just not super practical for a lot of college teams.
Because that dead mat is something I've heard from other athletes. They've expressed those same concerns. And I can tell you Concordia, Wisconsin has won the open toss with a score of 9.425. The John Book Fieldhouse goes wild.
Oh, my goodness. For the second year in a row, well, third year in a row, actually. Love to see it. Lots of hard work from these ladies. I've seen it with my own eyes. And to see it come to a head right here, I cannot be happier right now, Matt.
The Falcon faithful here inside the John Book Fieldhouse going wild. 9.425 for the Falcons in the open toss. That's how the toss event comes to an end, moving us now to the tumbling event and the first heat being the duo pass. All of a sudden, a different energy level of the John Book Fieldhouse.
Yeah, definitely seeing something switch up from having so many wins go to one team. You got to start rooting for the underdogs at some point. So it's incredible to have that go to Concordia.
And nothing against Mary Hardin-Baylor. In fact, more credit to them because they've set the bar so high that, again, each of these teams are aspiring to try to knock them off maybe in one of these heats. It's not easy to do.
They are hard to shake. And in addition to that, they are great athletes and great people on and off the mat. So I have a lot of respect for Mary Hardin-Baylor, and I love having them here to push everyone further.
Number 1, Patty Lozano. Number 19, Macy Goff.
So again, the duo pass is first, and we have East Texas Baptist. They've taken the spot a trine in this heat.
Nice controlled landings there. You see them stick the landing and take that one controlled step that is declared by their coach to the judges prior to competition day. So we love seeing that, doing everything right. I think that's going to be a great score.
So that for East Texas Baptist. Texas Lutheran is up next. And here in the duo pass, they will have a start value of 9.10. Phoenix Causley and Grayson Bunch. Even though Texas Lutheran did not have a team compete in the 2023 NCATA Division III tournament, these two were involved in this particular heat of the event final. So they have this experience from last year at Mary Hardin-Baylor.
And they look cool, calm, and collected heading into it.
Didn't they?
Next with a start value of 9.10, Texas Lutheran. Number 3, Phoenix Causley. Number 20, Grayson Bunch.
Nice job.
Beautiful.
You can tell two athletes that have been here done that. And a nice job by Phoenix Causley and Grayson Bunch. Bring that experience to the Texas Lutheran lineup. Boy, after the way the last event ended, the toss event ended, all of a sudden the energy level is up another notch.
Yeah, I mean, heading into tumbling event here, this is so exciting to watch. You get to see the best of the best doing what they do so well. So we're going to see some crazy passes here, and I can't wait to see, as we get into those individual passes even, what each athlete is going to be bringing to the mat for us today.
A 9.40 start value for Mary Hardin-Baylor. I've been impressed with these two. Different ends of the spectrum. We have a senior in Kensley Walters and a freshman in Addison Williams. It's been fun watching them in the duo pass each of the last couple of days.
And speaking of Kensley Walters, that is one athlete that I respect on and off the mat. Her attitude towards each other, towards her teammates and towards some of my teammates and anyone she interacts with, she is always super kind and so enjoyable to talk to.
Impressive stuff there from the freshman and the senior from Mary Hardin-Baylor.
I know they were working on that timing a bit in the warm-up, so it's nice to see them make adjustments and come out here and hit it with perfect timing right when it matters.
A number of athletes have talked about how this is difficult when you're working with a teammate or two because you're so used to, if you have that gymnastics background, more on an individual basis, and then all of a sudden you come to acrobatics and tumbling and you have to find that same pattern, that same timing with a teammate when you're used to just being by yourself.
Yeah, you really, typically people tumble to whatever feels best for themselves, so having to do and make adjustments to fit with somebody else, like a little puzzle piece, it is so difficult to be able to do.
Up next will be the trio pass. We'll see Texas Lutheran, Trine, and Mary Hardin-Baylor. As the judges once again figure out who took that duo pass. So far we've seen Mary Hardin-Baylor win 8 of 9 heats. Concordia, Wisconsin winning the open toss with a score of 9.425. So no sweep. It was starting to look like maybe, but Concordia, Wisconsin with a strong start value, and certainly that came into play and able to hold off the likes of Trine and Mary Hardin-Baylor. Always feels like these tumbling scores takes a little bit to trickle in. A lot going into the different elements in the scores. Just waiting for the update. Looks like the score is being entered as we speak, and indeed it is. And it looks like it's going to be Mary Hardin-Baylor with a score of 8.850. So the Crusaders victorious in the duo pass. Again with the duo of Kensley Walters, Addison Williams.
That has to be such a good feeling to be the first time that you are having to sync up with somebody else, a new partnership between these two, and coming out with a win at the same time. That is a lot to be proud of there.
That's looked very comfortable, at least in the couple of days we've seen those two together here in Mequon.
They fit.
They really do. It's a nice luxury to have, too, if you're Mary Hardin-Baylor. Yes, you hate to lose. If you're the Crusaders, you hate to lose the athletic ability there of Kensley Walters, but certainly a nice piece with Addison Williams to build within.
Yeah, it's nice that she's able to pass that torch down to her freshman counterpart to be able to build upon that in the years to come.
The trio pass will start with Trina. Start value 8.50.
And it looks good.
That was Sydney Juntz, Emma Wilkie, Lauren Alexander. Up next will be Texas Lutheran with Mackenzie Holland, Jenna Crafts, Nadia Roberts. Talk about some youth here with a couple of freshmen and a sophomore. We've seen a lot, at least for Texas Lutheran. Oh, Mackenzie Holland. So they await the thumbs up. And away we go with the thumbs up here in the trio pass.
Texas Lutheran. Number 1, Mackenzie Holland. Number 8, Jenna Crafts. And number 7, Nadia Roberts.
The chest bump for that trio. And then from their
Even for the coach.
Yep. With their assistant over there on the sideline, dropping her phone in the process, but it's got to be some relief, but also just, again, excitement with just going back out there and giving it one more look here in the trio pass, and it seemed like, at least for them, it all came together.
Yeah, definitely. You can only imagine the relief that they feel after being done. Being the first or second team in the heat to go means that you are able to get your stuff done and then head over to the sidelines and watch it all unfold after you.
And Mary Hardin-Baylor will be next with Maya Manka, Jenna Hall, Katarina Wright. I've been impressed with Jenna Hall, only a sophomore. Another, when you look at the youth movement for Mary Hardin-Baylor, she's one of those look out for in the years to come.
She certainly plays a pivotal role on this team.
9.10, Mary Hardin-Baylor.
9.10, the start value for the crew.
Number 25, Katarina Wright.
Just watching that landing on the right side. We'll see if that comes into play. That for Mary Hardin-Baylor. I'm anxious to see this score.
I think it'll be a close one. I think they left a few points out there with timing and maybe an extra step there on the landing, so it's anybody's game, but still nonetheless a great effort by UMHB over there. Beautiful pass. They have great tumblers, and that's definitely something that we're going to see come to light with this heat.
Is that what you're watching for when you look at this tumbling event? Are you watching the footwork, or is there more to it?
I am attempting to watch everything all the time, but definitely the footwork. I'm looking for body position, looking for height and continuity of the pass. I'm kind of picking it apart, watching what I can when I can, because if you blink, you might miss it. So props to these judges for being able to pay attention to each little detail. It definitely isn't easy, but those are just some things I look for.
I wonder how much comes into play. Obviously, you're in the here and now if you're a judge. You're watching the current heat take place, but having seen these athletes all in these heats in other meets throughout the last couple of days, if that comes into play at all, going, hey, you know what, they struggled here yesterday, but now they've picked it up, and does that enter into the brain at all, going, wow, they've made a big improvement, if that enters into how they go about judging?
I think it might. I mean, obviously, I have never been a judge, but seeing where someone has struggled and you took points off there, that's going to be what you're looking for. So then when you turn it around and they make an improvement, that's going to be a few less points that you can take off. So I definitely think that it matters a lot.
Mary Hardin-Baylor wins the trio pass with a score of 8.600. So a job well done for Maya Manka, Jenna Hall, and Katarina Wright in the trio pass. To the three with their award. How does that work? They have to split that trophy?
I think it'll probably go up in a case to be housed with the other ones.
Cut it in 3 parts.
Much like we have here with our own trophies from the tournaments of years past. I think they make a nice shelf piece for everyone to look at.
Here comes the quad pass. It's a free-for-all with all 3 teams. Start value 8.5. And we start here with Concordia, Wisconsin. Again, looking to stick that landing.
I know we have a lot of hardworking athletes here that have overcome some hard times in tumbling. So I am so proud to see each of these athletes throwing a full, especially for the seniors out there. What a great way to wrap up your season by going out there and doing what you know how to do and just nailing it.
We will also see Concordia, Wisconsin a little bit later on to wrap up the event finals in the open pass. Here in the quad pass, up next is Trine with that same 8.5 start value. And Trine has Juliana Porco, Lauren Alexander, Emma Wilkie, and Sydney Junt. And after this, we go after the quad pass. Start to get individualized with aerial pass, 6-element pass, open pass to wrap up the NCATA Division III tournament.
Next with a start value of 8.50, Trine. Number 5, Juliana Porco. Number 9, Lauren Alexander. Number 26, Emma Wilkie. And number 30, Sydney Judd.
There you have it. The Trine Thunder.
Timing so good, you can even hear it from the crowd. Just the feet and hands landing at the same time. That is the sign of great timing.
With Mary Hardin-Baylor up next at 8.50 start value. Maddie Malezic with Caitlin Kolagizik, Callan Doika, and Caroline Rowe competing here for the Crusaders. You look at their history, too. It's kind of shocking. Still a relatively young program. And they've grown dramatically, almost overnight. Going back to last year, now to this year, after a few down years to begin, some of the growing pains. But, man, they blossomed quickly on the acrobatics and tumbling scene.
Yeah, it is incredible to watch these new programs come in and learn skills in a short amount of time and be able to put out a beautiful product on the mat.
Next with a start value of 8.50, Mary Hardin-Baylor. Number 26, Maddie Malezic. Number 31, Caroline Rowe. Number 44, Caitlin Doika. And number 45, Caitlin Kolagizik.
Mary Hardin-Baylor looking to make it 11 for 12 in the heat so far. The event finals going to be tough to beat.
It will be, but going head-to-head with the same start values across the board, I think that levels the playing field just a little bit, and it'll be exciting to see how it turns out.
As the teams, again, that went out there, competed for Concordia, Wisconsin, Trine, and Mary Hardin-Baylor, wait patiently to see how this transpires. We're a couple of heats away from seeing Adrian for the first time on the mat here inside the John Book Fieldhouse for this tournament. That's coming up in the 6-element pass.
Having an individual pass is a great sense of honor, but also responsibility to kind of take the team on your back at that point and to come here and represent your whole team with not many supporters coming along with you, because you can't take the whole team unless they come here on their own, because Michigan is not that far. But I can only imagine the sense of pride, but also the sense of responsibility that athlete is feeling right now. So I send all my love her way. She definitely has a fan in me right now, so I look forward to seeing what she brings.
Yeah, Alessandra Gigliotti is going to be representing Adrian in just a little bit.
Due to a tie, Trine and Mary Hardin-Baylor will repeat.
Oh, we're going to have a do-over, if you will, a repeat.
Boy.
Apparently the scores ended in a tie between Trine and Mary Hardin-Baylor. So Concordia, Wisconsin is out, and now we get the try again with Trine and Mary Hardin-Baylor.
Up first with a start value of 8.
Love the reaction of both, even When you look at Trine's coach, Alexis Harris, I think maybe caught a little bit by surprise, but now, oh man, the stakes are that much greater. It's like a dance-off right here for the quad pass title.
And they do it again.
And what's so tough is you just found out 2 seconds before, hey, you get to try again because it's a tie score.
Yeah, it's like just when you thought you were done and you could wipe the sweat off your brow just a little bit, you have to be called into action and answer that call with great timing, another great pass, doing essentially just what you've done but improving wherever you can. That takes a very adjustable athlete right there.
You have to weather all the emotions of that split-second announcement, go right back out there, refocus, and do it again. And now Mary Hardin-Baylor.
I know they're going to bring the heat. I can just hear it.
Love some of the coaches giving Mary Hardin-Baylor a tough time going, hey, bring it. And they're going to come right back at you and say, it's already been brought.
You have to step up when you're called, and I'm sure that they will do just that.
Next with a start value of 8.50, Mary Hardin-Baylor.
We may have another tie.
To do it again, like we just said, for trying and go back after you thinking you're done and having to do it again. I am just so proud of all 8 of these athletes that just took a call to step up, and they did.
Talk about being in the judge's seat right now and trying to figure out, okay, who pulled that one out?
It definitely is not easy being a judge.
So we wait patiently to see if the tie has been unraveled here in the quad pass. Everybody else waiting for the aerial pass to follow. Having to wait just a little bit longer. Again, it's going to be very close between Trine and Mary Hardin-Baylor. And as we wait, again, the excitement level, perhaps maybe the shock and awe when the announcement was made that, hey, we have a tie, a redo for Trine and Mary Hardin-Baylor.
I mean, that just goes back to what we were saying. What do you look for when you when 2 athletes or 2 teams are going and you're watching all this tumbling? There's so much going on that it is very difficult to pick apart and find to find those deductions.
The winner is Mary Hardin-Baylor, 8.150. Remember, all 3 came in with a start value of 8.5, so I guess it should come as no surprise that we did have 2 teams finish tied, have to do it over again, and Mary Hardin-Baylor comes out on top.
Very exciting to see. I'm happy that we got to see a little bit of friendly competition, get the energy riled up in here, and definitely something to stir up all of the teams.
It's already been brought, says Mary Hardin-Baylor, 8.150. Another win as we move on to the aerial pass. And Trine will be up first. Emma Wilkie has a start value 8.90. Emma Wilkie, ladies and gentlemen.
such a beautiful pass, executed very well. The front handspring punch front right into a beautiful step out, smooth, continuous, and ended very nicely with that sticked landing and a nice controlled step.
Next up, Macy Goff, East Texas Baptist. 9.50.
Next, with a start value of 9.50 for the East Texas Baptist, number 19, Macy Goff.
She went left to right on your screen. Interesting to see how each individual approaches, whether they go from corner to corner, left to right. And a nice job there by Macy Goff.
Yeah, and the direction that you tumble is typically based on what your preference is as an athlete, but it can also be used as a little bit of strategy from your coach, depending on, maybe how close your feet are together to if you tumble, maybe a little bit crooked. You can either go from the corner or the side, whatever you feel shows your tumbling in the best way.
Kinsley Walters representing Mary Hardin-Baylor with a start value of 10. So we'll see her skills again on display. And you mentioned it earlier. You like what she's all about.
I think she is a great human being. She is so kind. She is a gentle soul indeed. So seeing her in this position, going last, meaning that she has had the highest score across the season, I think I am so proud of her, and my heart is full to see her in this position.
Next, with a start value of 10.
And again, as a senior, perhaps the final time, at least in this tournament out there competing, but hoping to be back on the mat in a couple of weeks in West Virginia. That never gets old. Seen it now back-to-back days. Move to move to move. Don't blink. Doesn't have a chance to catch her breath. She just goes from one element to the next and flip, toss, you name it. She does it.
She's got springs in her feet. It is just so exciting to watch her. Such a powerhouse tumbler. It is great to be here watching that once again for another year.
Wrapping up the aerial pass here in the tumbling event. Keep referencing the NCATA National Championships from Fairmont, West Virginia. They will take place April 25th through the 28th. And again, the championship field and the at-large qualifier for the event final will be released coming up on Monday, this Monday, April the 15th. So for some teams, for some individuals, for some events, some anxious moments. And a lot going down here this weekend that will help solidify some of those spots in Fairmont, West Virginia. .675 for Mary Hardin-Baylor, winning the aerial pass.
The aerial pass champion with a score of 9.675, Kinsley Walters.
So great job there by Kinsley Walters.
Excellent job and well-deserved.
Absolutely for the senior. Here comes the sixth element pass. This is where we're going to see Adrian. But at first, we'll see Trine with a start value of 8.45. Sydney Junt is going to be out there. So Sydney Junt for Trine. Set the tone.
Beautiful continuity from one skill to the next. You don't see her stopping and having to work up energy to go into the next skill. So that was beautiful leg strength. Love the body position on the ending there. Great job.
Here we go, Jesse. She's been waiting throughout the day for this moment from Adrian. That being Alessandra Gigliotti with a start value of 8.45.
Yeah, waiting all day to come and even all weekend to come here and show your team and show what you have been working on. I can, like I said earlier, only imagine the tremendous amount of pride that she must hold with her right now.
All these athletes over the last few days have had ample time to warm up, to go out there and compete. And now Miss Gigliotti arrived earlier, watched some of that team final between Trine and Mary Hardin-Baylor. Now it's her moment here in the sixth element pass representing the Adrian College Bulldogs. And representing the Bulldogs well.
Beautifully done. I love that since not her whole team could come and it is just her representing, it almost seems like she has been adopted by everyone here in the Book Fieldhouse. So I love the support that she is getting. It had to have been hard to come here on your own and, hold your own against these other full teams.
Her coach, Emily Buffington, here inside the John Book Fieldhouse. A great moment here for Adrian. And now for Mary Hardin-Baylor, we're going to see sophomore Jenna Hall. Start value of 9.50.
Next with a start value of 9.50 for Mary Hardin-Baylor, number 9, Jenna Hall.
And mind you, she's a sophomore.
Still a lot of years left to continue to grow and even build upon the foundation that she has. I think crowd surfing into her team is so fun. Such a celebration for a well-deserved pass. She's got plenty of room to grow, and I can't wait to see how she does. I mean, she already has done so much, but I look forward to seeing where she ends up in her next few years.
Saw the crowd surf earlier, too, after the same heat in the final against Trine earlier today. After this, one more heat to wrap up the event finals, which will be the open pass. We'll see Concordia, Wisconsin, Texas Lutheran, and Mary Hardin-Baylor. So among those three in the sixth element pass, I believe the score has just been submitted. But nothing yet official. As our Saturday winds down, the NCATA Division III tournament. Wrap it up here on this Saturday with a score of 9.175. I believe it's going to be Mary Hardin-Baylor once again. We're getting the score in real time, and so right now all it says is MAR, which I believe is the beginning of Mary Hardin-Baylor. And indeed, it's going to be the Crusaders. And in particular, Jenna Hall at 9.175. Your champion of the 6-element pass. And now with the open pass, competing for the final time as a Concordia University Wisconsin Falcon, has been with this program for the last 4 years. That being senior Peyton Taormina. I'm sure it's going to be a very emotional moment here. She'll come out with a start value of 9.10. And going out with a bang.
Yeah, great height there. We love to see the reigning open pass champion come back for year 2. Excited that it's Peyton. I think that is she's a great athlete. I've worked with her closely over the past few years, so exciting to see her go out on her senior year with a bang.
Texas Lutheran will come out with a start value 9.50, and we'll see Phoenix Causley representing Texas Lutheran. So we'll go left to right on your screen, getting the running start behind the team mat. And a chant of "Let's go Phoenix."
Next with a start value of 9.50 for Texas Lutheran, number 3, Phoenix Causley.
Wow. The sophomore from Round Rock, Texas.
Look at that, and she nails it. Going to get a big hug from Coach. Well deserved.
Oh, the head coach, Cam Bryant, was over his running up and down. There's a look at Coach Bryant running up and down that team mat, just ecstatic about what we just watched. Setting the bar high at Phoenix Causley. And now with the start value 9.75 from Mary Hardin-Baylor, freshman Addison Williams.
What a great position to have your freshman in. We've talked about the Crusaders doing a great job of, raising these freshmen, having those great seniors pass the torch down to the freshmen. And especially here we could see that this athlete has done such a great job with her tumbling, and it definitely has so many more years to grow.
Absolutely, and we've said it before, this Crusaders program is going to be scary for years to come. So a strong finish to the event finals, but I'm telling you right now, I can't wait to see the score because Phoenix Causley put on a show during her opportunity.
She really did. I think she had a great pass that flowed from one element to another. Her step out was great. I think there were great elements from Concordia and Mary Hardin-Baylor as well. So I think these scores are going to be fun to look at as they come in.
So Mary Hardin-Baylor so far has taken 13 out of the 14 heats, the exception being the open toss won by Concordia, Wisconsin. And we'll see if an upset takes place or not here in the open pass to wrap up The event finals then will give you the all-tournament team, the 30-member all-tournament team that has been awarded as well. It's going to be made public now here after this last heat. Tip of the cap to the judges, too. It's been a long 3 days for them as well.
I can only imagine staying sharp and staying on top of the skills that you are seeing and being able to judge them accurately. It is not easy, so a lot of props to the judges as well as everyone involved here.
At 9.500, Addison Williams from Mary Hardin-Baylor wins the open pass. So quite the showing for the Crusaders, who take 14 of 15 heats.
That is extremely impressive and a lot to be proud of for the Crusaders. I know they have worked hard to become the team that they are today, and to come out on top this many times is something that is incredible to watch. They are going to be a powerhouse for years to come.
Again, the exception being the open toss won by Concordia, Wisconsin. So as Mary Hardin-Baylor celebrates, here's the NCATA Division III all-tournament team. And again, right now, Alessandra Gigliotti from Adrian is named honorable mention. Now you'll see some of these athletes come out and receive their certificate. The second team from Mary Hardin-Baylor, consisting of Sarah Williamson, Natalie Putsednik, Morgan Webb, and Kensley Walters. From Stevenson, Ariana Ruiz and Trinity Poltrak. Buffalo State with Adrian Gardner and Brianna Rohr. From Texas Lutheran, we have Phoenix Causley and Grayson Bunch. From East Texas Baptist, Macy Goff, Brianna Brown, Jaden Stroman, Jessica Coleman. Trine will have Sydney Junt, Mia Garini, Lauren Alexander, Michaela Sutherland. From Concordia, Wisconsin, Madison Arndt, Amanda Owens, Ellen Marie Sanders, Ainsley Taylor. That's the second team. And again, you'll watch these awards and these certificates get handed out. For the first team from Mary Hardin-Baylor, you have Caitlin Kolagizik with Jenna Hall. For Stevenson, Annabelle Rosso. From Buffalo State, Lucy Ingro. Mackenzie Holland from Texas Lutheran. Allie Davis and Katie Melton from East Texas Baptist. Maya Lowe and Brianna Kelly from Trine. And for Concordia, Wisconsin, Peyton Tarmina and Alexis Feifel will be first teamers here for the all-tournament team here for the NCATA Division III tournament. Great job, though, by Concordia, Wisconsin. Job well done with hosting this event over the previous 3 days. Not easy to do. Putting it all together. All has to come together and setting the standard for hopefully what's to come and continue to be a success for this Division III tournament.
Yes, so much going on here this weekend, and I'm so happy to be a part of all 3 days of it. So much time and effort went into hosting this here, so big congratulations to everyone who competed, as well as congratulations to everyone who helped make this a possibility.
How neat is an event like this or a tournament like this to be a part of?
It is really special because this is honestly something that you only have so many to be a part of in your lifetime. I know for me, I only had 2 of them. So I'm excited to see that now that this is a regular thing, we will be seeing it more consistently in the coming years, and incoming freshmen will have a full 4 years of D3 tournaments.
And the scary thing is, and you know this firsthand from competing 1 year to the next, it keeps getting better and bigger.
Yeah, there are improvements being made by each team each year. They're bringing the heat, even just throughout the current season that they're in, but then leading into their next season. There's so much to build upon, and we keep seeing each of these teams grow tremendously.
Again, we invite you to check out cedarfalcons.com for a complete recap of the 3 days that have been. Mary Hardin-Baylor, your team champion for a second consecutive year. Knocking off Trine in the final. Again, they did so earlier today. 264.025 to 245.665.
Now on the first team from the University of Mary Hardin-Baylor, Caitlin Kolajizic and Jenna Hall.
And again, here in the event finals, Mary Hardin-Baylor winning 14 of 15 heats. The exception being the open toss won by Concordia, Wisconsin among the 15 heats, the 4 events. So a great showing. That by the crew on their trip up here to Southeast Wisconsin.
Like you were mentioning before, I hope they brought a suitcase or they figure out how to get all these home safely.
Well, I'm watching. Not only, do you have the trophy, but the boxes they come in are about 2 times the size of the trophy. So again, either another suitcase or that's going to be your carry-on.
That is your carry-on. Forget a pillow. You have your trophy.
Like they want enough for almost everybody on the team to take one home.
Might
it's
as
an
well.
impressive showing.
It is very impressive.
And again, you see the all-tournament team being announced. Right now on the first team, that was Texas Lutheran with Mackenzie Holland, Allie Davis, and Katie Melton here for East Texas Baptist. Just encouraging, too. Been a reoccurring theme for us to talk about, but just the growth of these programs, of this sport. And obviously you have the other 2 divisions, but I feel like with these teams here in Division 3 in a really good place.
We really are. And I mean, we've talked about growth so many times. This is just going to continue growing alongside with the sport. It's huge for D3 teams.
From Concordia University, Wisconsin.
Here is Peyton Tarmina and Alexis Feifel for Concordia, Wisconsin. First teamers here in the NCATA Division III tournament. All right, Jesse, wrap it up. Your thoughts on all that's taken place for the last 3 days. I know you've always shared some of your feelings, but what was the highlight? What are your memories of what we've seen here in these last 3 days?
I think we have had excellent showmanship over the past 3 days, as well as great performances by each team. So to see everybody come together and put on such a great show for the audience, but also show their strength and abilities, I think it has come to a great head here. And looking at everyone on the mat, I couldn't be happier.
What a cool picture right now being taken. That's the right there across the board. The close to 30-member all-tournament team.
Will all members of the first team please return to the floor for
or at least some of the members, that being the second team. And I will mention, here comes first team. All being honored here on the mat inside the John Book Fieldhouse together as one large group. And again, from Mary Hardin-Baylor, the season may not be over with the NCATA National Championships from Fairmont, West Virginia, April 25th through the 28th. Jesse, enjoyed every minute of it. Great job all weekend long. And what a 3-day tournament here inside the John Book Fieldhouse. What a showing by Mary Hardin-Baylor.
Yeah, no, once again, all props to them. I know they work hard to get to where they're at, and as I've mentioned, it is going to be incredible to watch them grow even more over these next few years and see, hey, who else is going to rise to the challenge and also grow alongside with them.
You're going to see right now, before we do, in fact, sign off, all the athletes that are here, all together on one mat, representing the 8 Division III Acrobatics and Tumbling schools, all together as one. This is quite the photo.
This is, to think back about how we didn't always have these numbers. And now we are able to have so many people here and to have them all on my personal home court. It is great to see everybody. I see a whole lot of familiar faces, a lot of people I'm extremely fond of. So it is great to have everyone in one place. And look at this amazing photo.
Funny part is they're coming from all walks of life here in the John Book Fieldhouse.
So many cameras in the air right now.
How often in any sport do you have all the competitors all as one in one photo like this?
And no fist fights either.
Yes.
All smiles.
All high fives. There you go. What an event. Great job, one and all. And now apparently a coach's photo as well. Everyone's getting a photo.
We should go down there.
Broadcast team assemble.
Yes.
Again, a lot goes into it besides the coaches, the athletes, certainly the support staff, whether it be some of the coaches, the off-season coaches here at Concordia, Wisconsin, helping out behind the scenes. Again, a job well done by Concordia, Wisconsin. But that wraps up this 3-day tournament. We thank you for joining us throughout the course of the last 3 days. For Jesse Alexander, our entire crew, Matt Middle saying so long. Good night from the John Book Fieldhouse. Again, thanks for joining us throughout. Congratulations to Mary Hardin-Baylor across the board as the team champions in 14 of 15 heats. Congratulations to Concordia, Wisconsin on their open toss title. And again, thanks for watching our coverage of the 2024 NCATA Division III tournament, Acrobatics and Tumbling on the Falcon Athletic Network.